Okay children, I hope you enjoyed my little videos on addition and subtraction. Today we're going to be looking at multiplication. As always, just choose the strategy that suits you best. We have done this at school before, but I'm still going to recap some of this. So short multiplication means if you're multiplying by one digit. So for example, 127 times 6. As always, making sure you're lining them up in the correct columns. 7 times 6 is 42, put the 4 there and the 2 there. Again, some people have been taught to put the 4 there. It doesn't really matter as long as you're remembering that it's in the tens column and you're going to add the 4 to it. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 4 is 16, and cross off the 4 because you don't want to use that next time. And then you just do 1 times 6 is 6 plus 1 is 762. If you need some more practice on short multiplication, then give yourself some of these before you move on to some of the ones that I'm giving you. So you could pause it and copy that down if you need that, because I'm going to rub that off now. Now, long multiplication is when I'm multiplying by more than one digit. So in this case, we're going to be looking at 3 digits, it doesn't matter if it's 4, you're still doing the same sort of thing, times by 2 digits here. I didn't line that up very well, so I'm just going to do that again. That's what you should be always checking, have I lined it up properly? You do not have to put another line down there, but you can to help you. Remember, just like you did with the short multiplication, you're going to be multiplying everything on the top line there by this, but first of all you're multiplying everything by whatever digit is in the ones column, in this case 9. So 6 times 9 is 54. Carry the 5 there, put the 4 there. 8 times 9 is 72, plus 5, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 7 is 43. I have to make sure, I can delete it, but if you're just doing this on paper, you've crossed it out thoroughly and take those away. Now, this is the really important thing that people forget. You must put a 0 next, and I'll tell you why. Because you're not actually multiplying by 2, you're multiplying by 20, but it's going to take too long to do everything by 20. So to make life easier for yourself, you put a 0 there, and then you can treat it as a 2. So the 0 is acting as a placeholder. You can put another line down there too. So now I'm not multiplying everything by 9, I'm multiplying all the top number by 2. So 6 times 2 is 12. Put the 1 there, carry the 1 and put the 2 over there. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Again, I have to have everything lined up. Don't want those there anymore, and I put an add sign because that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm adding those together. Now, I'm going to add them together. I'll just do that in green there. 4 plus 0, and you do this as a normal column addition. 4 plus 0 is 4. 7 plus 2 is 9. 7 and 3 is 10. Carry the 1, put the 0 there. And then 9, add 4. But we have to remember the 1 as well. So 9 add 4 is 13, plus the 1 is 14. And if you want, you can put the comma there, 14,094. I'm going to rub that off in a moment. So if you want to pause that so you can copy it down, and then that can help you when you do that, then do that now. The last thing I want to recap, I know it's a lot of information, but I'm trying to mix it up and lots of things we've done before. What I would like you to do is look and see, because some of these are multiplying by 100. I do not want to see, for example, if it says 0.6 times 100, I do not want to see anything like this, trying to do this column method or something like that. That's not going to work. See if you remember what to do when you multiply by 10, 100 or 1,000. What I would do, I'm going to do that one, I'll say 0.6 times 100. So what you do for that is draw the columns. You can put the put what they are at the top, but it doesn't really matter. Put the decimal point there and there. Just remember the decimal point never ever moves. You put the 0, 6 times 100. When we're multiplying, the digits move and they move that way. If you're multiplying by 10, they move once. How many times for 100? Twice. And for 1000, the digits all move 3 times. So if this is times 100, I will start with the 0, it doesn't matter which one. I'll move it 2 places there. And I'll move the 6 2 places. And you then put the 0 as a placeholder. We don't really say the number 060, so you don't need that. So the answer would be 60. Try it again with another one. What about, try this one. What about 1.7 times 1000 this time? Just pause it for a moment while you do that. So what the answer would be, you may need more columns drawn. Again, make sure that the decimal point stays there, and doesn't matter which one you start with, but I'll start with this. The 1 would move 3 spaces for 1000. So it goes 1, 2, 3. The 7 moves 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. Don't forget the placeholders. So it's 1700. Again, feel free to copy that down, practice that if you need to. When you've done that, have a look at the 7 questions I've got here and look really carefully. Which ones do you need short multiplication? Which one of these do you need to do long multiplication? And which one are you going to be using these columns like this? I'm going to pause this for a moment now while you do it, and then I'm going to write them up. Okay, so children, hopefully you've had time to do those. If you now have a look at the answers, they're all written up there. Hopefully you can see them and they are clear to you. I'm not going to go through them all now because we've talked about the methods. The ones that you may have got a bit stuck on possibly is if you try to do 3.6 times 100 using formal long multiplication, or 0.8 times 1000. Remember that's when you use the column method. What I will do is go through the last one because that's a 4-digit number times a 2-digit number. So if you could please pause this so that you can mark your work. Any ones that you got wrong, try again using the ways that I've taught you and think, what mistake have you made? And I'll just go through number 7. So pause it now. Okay, just before I go through this one, number 5, which was 65 times 9,327, that might have thrown you a bit because it started with a 2-digit number multiplied by a 4-digit. Remember that multiplication is the same as addition, as in it's commutative, which means it can be done in any order. I would always put the largest number at the top. So anyway, this is number 7. It's 3,268 multiplied by 48. Make sure that you line up all the digits correctly. I'm going to just underline it, or you can circle it. Again, you don't have to put the line there, you can. 8 times 8 is 64. Put the 6 there. I don't think my pen's working well. Put the 6 there, put the 4 there. 6 times 8 is 48. Plus 6, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. Put the 5 there and the 4 there. And again, we're still multiplying everything by 8, remember. 2 times 8 is 16. Plus the 5, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Put the 2 there, the 1 there. Now, even if you haven't done it with 4 digits before, you literally, it doesn't matter how many digits, you're still only multiplying by the 8. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 2, 25, 26. Again, the most important thing is that you are lining up all the digits, like that. I'm going to rub those out there. Please remember to put the 0 in as a placeholder, because we're not going to say multiplied by 40, we're going to say multiplied by 4. Put that there, and you can now just underline that to remind yourself that's the one that you're multiplying by now. So 8 times 4 is 32, put the 3 there, and the 2 there, carrying the 3. Done 8 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 25, 26, 27. Put the 2 there, 7 there. Remember to cross out the 3 because I've already done that. 2 times 4 is 8, plus the 2 is 10. 3 times 4 is 12, plus the 1, which is 13. Now, I'm going to add them together. I'm going to put that addition sign. I will extend my lines. I'm sure you would do this with a ruler. If I just look here, there's nothing above the 1, which means it's a 0, but feel free to just put the 0 in there just so that you have something to add there. And remember to put that addition sign, as I've said, because you're adding them normal column addition. 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 1 plus 7 is 8. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 3 is 5. And then 1 plus 0. And then if you want to put the comma in, which really helps me because I know when to say the word 1,000 basically, you go 1, 2, 3, always from the right, 1, 2, 3. So it's 156,864. I hope you enjoyed revising multiplication. Next time I will be making a video reminding everyone about division.